welcome everyone. Hello once again, and thanks for coming to Devtodev's webinar. And this is, as a reminder, this is a series of our webinars that are dedicated to our functionality. And today's webinar is about Devtodev's features, and they can sometimes be a bit overlooked. They're not so obvious, but they're super useful and can significantly simplify and speed up your workflow working on projects and analyzing your data. So our beautiful host, Anastasia Sukhanova, our Customer Success Manager at Devtodev, will host today's webinar and will guide you through these sometimes overlooked but still incredibly useful functionalities of Devtodev, and we'll share some tips that could help you optimize your experience with Devtodev, and we'll share as well some recommendations for using Devtodev to its fullest potential. Feel free to write down the questions in the chat, and we'll answer them after the main presentation to the session. And also feel free to ask away the questions about Devtodev's functionality. So, Anastasia, we can start.
Yes, hello again, everyone. Happy to see you all here. And as Ala said, today we will have a very interesting and I guess useful webinar about not obvious features in Dev2Dev. Yeah, there are some features that simplify and enhance usage. And however, you might have missed some of these features for various reasons. And to ensure our clients know and use all of the features, we decided to talk about them. It's great if you know all of them, but I'm sure there are at least a few that you might have overlooked. So let's get started, and let me share my screen. Just a second. So I guess you can see my screen. I hope so. If no, Ala, please let me know. So yeah, today I will mainly focus on the report section with our report builders, as most of the features located here. And let's start with the basic metrics section. I believe most of you use this report. Here you can quickly build reports on key metrics. And let's take a look at some interesting features here. The first feature is comparison. And let's say we want to compare the metrics of the current month to the previous one. This might be useful if there have been some changes in your app and you want to see the impact on a particular metric or group of metrics. And let's try selecting the most basic metrics, average revenue per user. Let's click apply. And let's choose it for 30 days. Yes, it will be okay. And okay. Yes, and choose the comparison option. We can see there are different options. You can add the filters, for example, select different countries or different version, or you can add comparison by custom property, and you can also choose a comparison by time intervals. And I want to choose the comparison to previous months. And let's check everything is correct. Yes, so we can click apply and view result. Great. Now we see the comparison of the metrics from the current month to the previous one. And by hovering over, you can see how one metric differs from the other. And let me show another feature right here is the ability to edit axis. To do this, we need to click here and we can set the axis size ourselves. This can be useful if you want to view a chart, for example, in a larger format or examine the changes in the chart more closely. Also, if you're not satisfied with the overall picture, you can change it. In our specific example, we can try, for example, reducing the exercise even further to make the difference between months more obvious. Yes. Okay. And for the next feature, we need to create a table, and just give me a second. Okay, I want to select paying users and group them by country. Yes, so need to choose a table and remove the aggregation period. Okay. Often it's necessary to see what share of certain group represent of the total number. To do this, you usually have to export to Excel or somewhere else and work with it manually. Now I'll show you how to see the share in a few clicks. And we see how many paying users we have from each country. However, we would like to understand not just how many paying users we have from India, for example, but what percentage they represent of the total number, and whether that's a lot. For this, we can use a show percent of total function, which calculate the share of a certain group from the total number. Let's apply it. Great. Now we know that the percentage of paying users from India is almost, sorry, not almost, it's 30% of the total. And for the next feature, let's add another metric to this table. For example, it could be ARPU. And let's click apply and refresh. Okay, now we will apply conditional formatting. We need to select by a color scale for the metric paying users. This way you can highlight the highest values, and additionally, in some cases, you might want to highlight the lowest values, and this option is also available. And for the ARPU metric, I'll show you another example. Let's assume that this is a breakdown not by country, but by acquisition channels. I'm explaining this now so we don't have to build a new table from scratch. So suppose we know the cost of the traffic acquisition and we want to highlight the channels that have paid off. For example, if the cost is $3, we select the formatting type by specific value and enter here that the value should be greater than $3. And let's change the color. Yes, I like this one. Okay, let's click apply. Yeah, so here's what we got. Now it's visually clearer where the value is higher or where our target values are. And these tables will look better on the dashboard. And let's add this table to the dashboard as we will need it a little bit later. Just give me a second. Okay, save to dashboard. It's a new dashboard. Report number 1. Okay. And yeah, and the last feature I want to show here, and I'll say that this feature applies not only to this report, but to all reports in our system and to all builders, including SQL and also all reports in the Smart View tab. Let's choose some metric. Yeah, you can click on the 3 dots here and share a link to the report. The most important thing here is that you share the report with all your settings. Your colleague won't need to change anything, and will see exactly the report you built. And it's also convenient add these links into various internal reports, as the link will be valid for a year, and you can always use it to view a particular report. Let's try to just copy it here, and we'll check if everything is correct. Yes. Okay, so we see exactly the same report with the same settings. And let's move to the custom events section. And let's say we have a financial app, and we want to see the average the average amount that users from different countries are sending. To do this, we select the corresponding event. It will be money transfer, and we need to choose the average parameter value for the amount parameter. And we also need to select grouping by country. Yes, and yeah, I want to limit it to 10. Okay. And the first feature I want to show you is the ability to filter by event. This means that you can view data only for users who performed certain actions. And let's try to add this. For example, we want to see data only for users who previously deposited money. For this, we need to select, again, the money transfer event. Let me find it. Yes. We need to select parameter type, and the type should be, yep, deposit. Click apply here, and then apply here, and click refresh. Yeah, so now we will see data only for the group of users who previously deposited money. And the next feature is the ability to rename metric names. Let's choose a stacked bar chart here. Yep. And this is how our report looks, but it might be not very convenient, since you have to hover over each metric to see which country it is. And let's add this report to the dashboard for better visibility, so we can compare it later. Okay, save to dashboard. Guess it would be report number 2. And let's go to see. Yeah, sorry, I'll need to. Okay, I guess it would be better. And looking at it at the dashboard, it still doesn't look very convenient. We have the option to change the metric names to make it easier to navigate. Let's go back to the report. And here we need to click on metric settings and enter the name we want to see. And give me a second. Could be, yes, average transfer amount. Okay. So great. Now it's much easier to navigate, and at least full names are visible, making it clear to understand which country it is. And let's add this one too, so we can compare. Yes, we need to save it as new. Should be number 3. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, now you see the difference, and this way you can make reading the chart a bit easier for yourself. And if you haven't tried it yet, you can do it on your projects. And let's move. You need to go to the custom events again. And probably the last thing I'll show you here is in custom event section is the single digit widget. And let's go back to the example with the financial app and assume we now want to see the average transfer amount. I mean, just average transfer amount. Again, we select money transfer, and here average parameter value for the amount parameter. Click here result. Yeah, and here in the report type, we need to select the number. Yeah, so this is how the widget might look. However, the label pieces doesn't tell us much, so we can change this label. Let's make it USD, for example. And this kind of widget will look good on the dashboard. So let's add it and take a look. Yes, save to the dashboard. Okay. And let's name it. I guess, okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so great. You can see it here. This is how it looks like in the dashboards. And it's also important to know that you can create such a report from the basic metrics we view recently and the SQL sections. And the next section we'll focus on is our funnels. Let's go here. And let's start by creating a funnel. Let's make it a fairly standard and logical series of events. For example, a user funnel from installation to depositing money. Okay, let's start with the install event. Next, we'll have account created. After that, should be, docs submitted. The next one will be docs validated, and after that, again, our favorite event for today, it's money transfer with the parameter type is deposit. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Let's refresh it. Something went wrong. Okay, I guess I faced some issue. Let's try to, maybe I'll try to do it again. Maybe something went wrong. Sorry, you have to wait one more minute. I'll try to do this again. Okay, the next one, count created. And docs submitted. Docs validated. And where we have money transfer, can find it. Yeah, money transfer. Okay, again, parameter type is deposit. Oh, okay, great. The first thing I want to show you is that in addition to exporting and working with those who completed a certain step, we can create a segment of those who did not complete that step. For example, we can create a segment of users who registered but did not submitted their documents, which is a crucial step for working with a financial app. In this case, we can, for example, send a push notification for users who did not complete this step, or we can work with segment in reports to study their behavior in more detail and understand how to improve this conversion. And another interesting and useful feature here is the ability to set time limit on funnel completion. We might be interested in looking at funnel completion during the first session, for example. That means we want to focus on our motivated users who performed key actions during their first sessions. To do this, we need to click here and select the necessary condition. In our case, it will be limit by first session. Let's click apply. And now we see the funnel. Just wait a little bit. Yeah, now we see the funnel only for the user's first session. You can also add another time limit here. And as I mentioned earlier, we can save these users into a segment to study their behavior of motivated users further. And the next thing is we can also look at conversion by days. We might have recently released an important update or changed something. And if we add a daily aggregation period as I did, we can see a funnel completion by days. Let's add here also the number of users. Also, you can specify which conversion you want to see from the first to the last step or for a specific step only. So this way, we can understand how our changes might have impacted funnel completion. Yeah, and the last useful feature here is the ability to rename steps. And let's remove the aggregation period and get back to the normal view. Yeah, we see that it's not entirely clear what all steps are. It's just a step, 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 step. And for example, what we have where we have a money transfer event, since we have a specific parameter. This can be crucial if you have a very large, if your funnel is very large, so we can rename steps to make them more understandable. To do this, we need to go up and click the pencil here. And let's name it somehow. Maybe the money deposit, for example. Click here and let's refresh it. Yeah, okay. So now it's more clear what step it is. And you can rename all the steps. Okay, moving on. And to the second to last section we'll focus on today, it's dashboards. Let's go to our new dashboards. And let's start with the table we created earlier. And first, you can adjust the column width manually or set it to adjust automatically based on the content. For example, we can uncheck this box and set the column width as we want. So we can do it like this or like this. So this is useful if you have very long parameter names or you just don't like the default appearance, so you can adjust the width accordingly. And once we have made the widgets, all the widgets look the way we want, we might need to save this dashboard. And besides being saved in our system, you can also export it to a PDF to send it to someone or to attach it to the task tracker to your team, for example. You need to click here on 3 dots and click export as PDF. And additionally, if you need to discuss something with your colleagues, you can leave a comment on the dashboard or on a specific widget. And if necessary, you can tag your colleague. Let's try. Yes. And they will receive email notification. And yeah, that's all for the dashboards. And I'd like to move to the final section. It's tuning section. And the first feature here is labels. Let's go. We can add any important events such as releases or adding a new offer, or let's say you started a season pass and you can add it here and later assess the impact on your data, retention, revenue, name it. And when you add this label, it will appear on the charts. And let's check how it looks. And for example, here we see a label already created for this Sunday. It's for release of the new version. So I want to create a new one. And I have pre-opened a report to save some time. And if you click here on data labels and turn it, oh, sorry, labels, and turn it on, you will see all the important events for your project. Yes. Okay, moving next, and we go back to the tuning section. And the next thing we'll look at its ability to set up alerts. It's here. You can choose a metrics and what you want to compare it with. For example, it could be the number of new users, or it could be retention, for example, and it could be compared to the, in this case, to the previous days. We also need to set up conditions here. So it could be 10%. Yeah. And then we choose the type of notification, such as Slack or email. This means if your retention or the number of new users suddenly drops, you'll get notifications and can immediately assess the situation and understand what happened. And another important point is that besides standard metric, you can select a custom event. For example, you can set up alert of if the number of custom events, if the number of created accounts suddenly drop. You just need to choose the account created event here. And okay. And the last part here in the tuning section is our custom events configuration section. And firstly, here you'll find a list of all your custom events with their parameters and types. Second, you will see your limits and can evaluate how many more events you can integrate. Additionally, you will see blocked parameters here. And you can also block events and parameters yourself directly from the interface without involving a developer. This is useful if you're exceeding your limits and want to block the collection of some already unnecessary events. And lastly, you can add a description for the events here, so the entire team understands what this event means. The same can be done with custom properties in the user properties section. Yeah. And so, that's probably all I wanted to show you today. I really hope you find something new and useful. And yeah, I guess we're now ready to answer question you may have. And I'll end sharing my screen.
Okay, the first question was about is there a recording of this webinar? Yes, it will be available, and we'll send it as a follow-up probably somewhere next week. And yeah, you'll have a recording, and we'll publish our best recordings on YouTube in the webinar section, so you always have a chance to access the webinar. And also some of them will be available in the documentation. So yeah, there is no way you're gonna miss it. There was another question about alerts, but I guess you already answered it in your
Yeah.
yeah in the last few minutes.
Okay. So the short answer, you can do it in the tuning section. Yeah, as I showed you before.
Yeah, and it's a super useful functionality to find out about very unexpected metrics drops, or if they grow unexpectedly fast as well. Okay, and we have a question about a funnel report, but we have a question about a question, but not question itself. So if you're still
Yes.
here, feel free to write it down. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to Anastasia directly, maybe via email, or schedule a demo, and we'll be able to
Yes.
show you the
Yes.
full funnel report. Oh, okay. So there is a question. You mentioned that you will be able to send push notifications, reminders to specific funnels. First question, will we be able to automate it?
That's a good question. Let me think of it a little bit. Actually, I guess somehow yes. I mean, I can right now show you the settings you can set up in the push campaigns. Just give me a second. I'll share my screen again. And so you need to understand that you will not send push campaigns directly from the funnels. You will create a segment which will be used in the push campaigns. Let me find it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I need to select different project because in this demo project we don't have. So let's go here. I hope we have. I guess I have some connection issues today because, yeah. Okay. So we can add a new campaign here, and I'm going to show you the condition you may set. So you'll decide whether it works for you. And yeah, it could be automated campaign, of course. Yes, so we can here choose different, let's say, conditions. It could be based on the when user firstly open the app, days of inactivity, or on some particular event, or yeah. So we can pick the necessary event here, and even a parameter of this event, or you can set up a cancellation event and set up the time when it will be saved. So every time the user will have this event, will send this event, he will receive a push notification.
So, and I guess another option is to create a dynamic segment. So
Yes,
basically,
yes.
yeah, and you'll get users who are getting into dynamic segment like via a particular event when they, I don't know, fulfilled some event, and then the exit event will mean that they will leave the segment. So basically, you'll continuously send them from the dynamic segment. Nice to show you.
Yes. Yes, so here you'll set up the conditions for the entering this dynamic segment, and this segment will be fulfilled every time when the user will, let's say, make the target event.
So yeah, that's how you do it. And that was the first question. Do I have a second one? Okay, good. Feel free to schedule a demo or a session or a demo call, and
Yeah, or just write to me directly to my mail. Yeah, I'll be happy to chat with you and answer your questions. Yeah,
okay, awesome.
so we can yeah, thank you all, and yeah,
See you next time.
have a great day. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.